we are the only club with a population of 200 million people, 3% of the world's population. The main objective for me is to grow the club, but also be like a father of the club.
Welcome to Football Business Television, where the game gets down to business. Our latest episode of the CEO sees me joined by Prithiijit, the president of Intercashai in India. How are you doing?
Very well. Thank you, and it's nice to come on the show.
Appreciate you being here. We'll jump straight in, as we
Yeah.
discussed off camera. We try to be punchy and as authentic as possible. You've gone from being a young entrepreneur to president of a very successful club in Intercashai. Can you tell us a bit about how that journey unfolded, and what drew you into football management?
I think football is like life, and what we've all seen, 90 minutes is what life teaches you. You go through some really good highs, then you struggle in life, and then you come back up. And what football teaches you that no matter what, you could be losing 3-1 at 90 minutes. Stoppage time, you score three goals and you win. So to take life every minute and never give up and just keep working hard, and you don't know, you suddenly see the difference. So I think that is what attracted me to the sport. And that's something I live by, and this is what I feel like India as a country has such a young population. It's important for kids to know and learn, and I think sports is a very good learning for everyone for life.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the challenges of life and vice versa can certainly be translated. Uh, Intercashai is still relatively new as a name in Indian football, but you guys have already made your own headlines, which has been great to see. What was the original vision when you came into the club, and are you already realizing some of that?
No, we are still we are still very early. We are fortunate that we could win the league in the second year to get promoted to the top tier. When I joined the club, it was just a club, but the vision what we built is that we are the only club with a population of 200 million people, 3% of the world's population. And it was a really, really big chance, a big opportunity to make a difference, to grow football. And it's something which I could not miss. So that's why we came into the club with a very clear vision that uh, to grow the game, not only do you only focus on your club, the senior team, but you build out your academies, and having a base of 200 million, there's plenty you can do for academy youth football, building the fans and engaging the crowd. So I think it's a really incredible opportunity. The fact that we could win the trophy in 2 years has given us that added boost, because now we are more popular, people know about us. It is also helping us with kids to get into the game, because now everyone knows what this club is all about.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, and I completely agree. I've long thought of India as being a land of opportunity as far as football's concerned, just on sheer volume, right? And I think if you get a small percentage of what I think is possible, then you'll do amazing things. We've touched on it already. You obviously come from a very successful business background where you've built companies and brands. How transferable are those lessons from running successful businesses into running a football club?
I think everything is interlinked. A lot of business senses, especially delegation, is something which you implement in football, and you have to believe. You have to believe the scout, you have to believe the manager, you have to believe the operations team, to finding the best route for away matches, to the doctors, to planning the recovery, to the coaches, which is not very common these days, to have patience with them even when you lose in the game.
Of course.
And when you run businesses, the first way of business is delegation. Nobody owns a corporation. It's the team. And
Mm.
if you can build the team and if you can give them the empowerment, magic can happen.
I love to hear that. I'm a big fan of having the right people around you, and again, that's a transferable skill between football and business alike, right? It's so important to have complementary people around you. I think is key. You might have touched on a little bit of my next question, really, which was kind of looking at what your role as president looks like on a day to day. How hands on are you? What is there a typical week for you, and if so, what does that look like?
The main objective for me is to grow the club, but also be like a father of the club, where every department, every team just go and understand what they're doing and give them the confidence they need, because you have to make them feel they are owners. And if everyone owns their job, if everyone owns the task they have to do, they will do it with so much more passion than being robotic, which essentially builds up the whole thing. What we realize is football is a team game. So if the defender doesn't pass the ball to the midfield and midfield to the striker, he can't score the goal.
Yeah.
So everyone needs to have the ownership. Everyone needs to trust the other person to give the ball. And that's my main role, is to make sure everyone is confident and everyone is reassured and build up that they are the owners of their task.
It's very similar to one of the early lessons I was given in business by one of my former chairmen, who said that everybody, I used to run big sales teams for publishing companies in London. And he said people have to treat it like it's their own business. You have to be CEO of your own desk, and have people running their own daily tasks as if they were running their own business. And you're right, then people take ownership and accountability and all of those things, which is absolutely right. You've been really vocal about sustainability in the I League, and rightly so. What are the biggest challenges you think clubs at your level face, and what structured changes would you like to see the league or the game in India adopt?
So the biggest challenge we have in India, and especially where I come from, is homegrown talents, because we don't have a football culture.
Mm,
We are like, the vision I'm working out right now is to build 8 or 10 academies across the state, so we can build up a pipeline of kids. Because once you have kids playing tournaments, kids engaged from the school level to up to 18 years old, is can you start getting them inbuilt,
yeah,
homebound, and that's when you also get your fans. So what actually happens is, most clubs, once they win, they forget about the academy, and then they feel the money I'm going to put in the academy, I rather put in the first team to win the trophy.
yeah,
And to make it sustainable, that you have to consistently, at least for 5, 6, 7 years, keep investing in your academy, because that's where your star is going to come from. That's where the Leo will come, and that's where you will get your fans to come to the ground and cheer for you. Else, unless you build that family around you, where all the kids play for the club and they are involved, would you not get your fans? Would you not get your stars?
yeah. Completely agree. And I guess that nicely, it's almost like you've read my questions, but I guess that's something that you probably feel sets Intercashai apart from other clubs in India, right?
We hope. So, our main idea when we started the club was, we wanted to be the first club, or the only club with 200 million people. But now we want to be the change. So, we want to run the club in a way. Looking at us, we have another 50, 60 clubs coming up, because the population what we have, it's very large for another 100 clubs to come up. And it's only when you build that ecosystem would you be able to create the football culture, would you be able to bring supporters, fan bases, and the cake is so large, you should share it. Else you're going to make a mess out of it. And in India, the biggest challenge what we have, we don't have enough youth competitions.
Mm,
You will be shocked that an Indian 18, 19-year old kid would have played maybe 30 games in his career, professional or competitive. Whereas I think in the West, it's more than hundreds of games they would play.
Yeah. And that's is that based on maybe availability to the game or just straight awareness, or do you think that's a legacy challenge in terms of a passion for the sport from an early age? Because historically been a very successful cricket nation, and I've always been aware of a passion for football in India, but it maybe is kind of falling in at number two. Is it a combination of those two things, maybe access and information? I guess.
It is access, but it is also that we don't have that many academies in India. We don't have school football. We don't
Right.
have coaches. So you need everything, and this is what we're trying to do. Is we speaking with different clubs internationally also. If we can get youth coaches to come even for a week, a few days, start building the culture, because you need to get kids to play,
Yeah.
and it has to start from the school. Unless it starts, because right now everyone in schools only play cricket.
Mm.
Somebody has to make the change, and somebody has to start saying, okay, here is the ball, let's play football.
Yeah, yeah. We don't need a bat even. Yeah, no, completely.
Correct.
We met and you spoke last year at Soccer X in Miami about the
Yeah.
potential of football in India, which was fascinating to listen to. What was the message that you were attempting to share to the, I guess, international football community?
That India is a large country, and we need support, we need collaboration more at the youth level.
Yeah,
Unless we get more clubs coming in, more academies coming in, mainly at the grassroots, we cannot grow. We
yeah,
have a population of 1 billion people, but we don't have enough coaches.
right.
So we want everyone to come in, do soccer schools, soccer camps. Just come to the country, see what you can do at the grassroots level, which essentially will become beneficial to you, because you will also get a pie of the population of the kids. But you will also encourage kids to play, because what is unfortunate is only when foreign clubs come in or foreign coaches come in would kids be more excited
Yeah.
to turn up in jerseys and play than the local teams.
It's a familiar model, right, worldwide. So that's been a pretty similar theme, whether it's in the Middle East, whether it's in the US. There was always that kind of basis of successful European faces starting, camps or academies or whatever, and then the local interest grew around that, which you can then bolt
Absolutely.
onto. How important then are international collaborations and knowledge sharing platforms for you? Events like Soccer X or Leaders in Sport or even World Football Summit for emerging clubs like Intercashai? And would you potentially look at putting together something yourself in India? Because I think that one of the things, it's okay to kind of travel around and showcase, the country and the opportunity. I think maybe a more important step could be to bring people to the country and maybe produce your own platforms for knowledge sharing.
No, absolutely. I think this is something which I really, really want to do. It's very close to my heart, because football is about together, and together we grow. So if we can make a similar platform like the Soccer X in India, it will give not only me, but the hundreds of other academies, clubs, sports enthusiasts, professionals access to foreign clubs, to speakers, to ex players, to tech, to understand so many things. Because what we also need to realize is there is so much more to football than just on the pitch.
Yeah,
And we have to be open to give the market a wider spectrum. If we can, in some way, organize a Soccer X kind of event, or a World Football Summit, or some event in India where you have multiple teams, leadership, players, companies, professions come in, it will lead to a lot of knowledge share to a lot of Indian clubs who have not been able to travel out,
Yeah.
who are too focused on doing grassroots and not having the time to go out. So for them to get that this access will be incredible, and I think in a way it can be game changing.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I've seen it actually over the last few years in Qatar, in Saudi Arabia, in various countries where there's been an event like that to bring the key stakeholders from football, and you kind of make that country or city or region the centre of football for a few days, which obviously plays a huge part. Getting back to Intercashai and your vision, I guess for the club, if you could model your growth on any club or league from around the world, who would it be and why?
I think one club I personally really like is Brighton.
Yeah.
Uh, I just love Brighton and similar some other clubs who are using technology in such a brilliant way and who are doing so much work at the youth and academy level. It's something for everyone to learn because, in a way, you talk about India as being the IT capital of the world.
Yeah.
With tech happening, there's so much we can do. There's so much we can collaborate because we have the people, we have the population. It just to do things correctly in a more focused manner with multiple stakeholders. And I think if we look at a 7-10 year vision, uh, the change can be phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree. I think you could almost achieve generational change in half a generation. I think if
Yeah,
done
yeah.
if done correctly. You'll know better than me. You know, running a football club isn't just about finance, as important as that is. And you touched on delegation earlier on. I think building a successful football club is all about the right people. How do you build a culture of a club that unites the playing staff, the people on, behind the scenes, and the supporters behind one vision?
I think it's difficult. I think to me, the way we've done it is to be open, transparent with everyone, and most importantly, have a long term vision. Stick to the vision no matter what, because it's only when you hit some bad patches of losses, not able to get sponsorship, not able to win matches, is when you start doubting yourself.
Mm,
At that point of time, if the management and the ownership is on your back and they say no matter what, you're doing good, we keep trying, you will change the culture. And
yeah,
it's those smaller things which can't be quantified but make a huge difference on the pitch.
yeah, completely agree. The Indian sports landscape is really fast changing, right? It's a developing at a crazy pace. What do you think modern football leadership looks like to you?
I have this whole view which I think is slightly debatable, but I feel a football leadership today is probably more tougher than running a business because the highs and lows move so fast,
Yeah,
and to be able to have a firm grip and stick by your plan
yeah,
is it's crazy. Like we had this whole situation with Nottingham Forest,
yeah,
with the coach coming in, going, not lasting. I mean, it's so difficult.
mm,
How do you manage people's expectation? Can you keep the fans happy? Do you keep yourself happy?
yeah,
How do you do that balance? Because these days clubs are so driven by fans, and social media is so vocal. I think it is really tough. I think running a business is not that difficult, but like a football club with a strong heritage, with history, with fans, I think you need some blood pressure medicines.
I'd agree. There's probably a lot more emotional baggage that goes with being involved in football than there is in business. You can maybe at least close the office door from time to time, right?
Correct.
What motivates you most now? Is it? developing on the success you've had, winning more trophies, developing players, growing the fan base, or is it something deeper that's maybe more legacy driven for you?
For me, the whole idea of coming back to football was to build a legacy.
Yeah.
India is going through a whole change where our honorable prime minister is pushing for sports. We've won the bid for the 2030 Commonwealth Games.
Mhm.
We are bidding for the 2036 Olympics, and in the next 10 years, we would also be bidding for multiple international sporting events. And the most interesting thing which I figure is, with AI coming in, the only sector which is not affected by AI is sports.
Mm.
So, with the young population, so much happening, I think India can truly, in 10 to 15 years, if we can continue the way we are trying to do, become a sporting nation. We've all grown up to see how Australia is a sporting nation, and we all admire how they are so good in so many different sports. The vision is, consider in 11 years, India hosts the Olympics. And in 10 years, 11 years, we can make a difference in football where we can get something in the Olympics. That's the legacy we're trying to build. And I think if we can do it correctly with stakeholders, different clubs, and everyone coming together, I feel 10 years can be achieved.
And you come across as the kind of person that wouldn't even be satisfied then. Maybe it'd be the dream of a World Cup in India following that, right? And get that campaign game running.
No, I think we are very far away. I think the Olympics, and the reason I said the Olympics, because the Olympics is essentially an under 23 event.
Yeah,
I think if you ask me for the World Cup, really hand on my heart, maybe 2047. I
cool.
think we are really really behind.
Yeah,
All the Asian countries are moving so fast.
mm,
So if you ask me realistically, maybe 20 years.
yeah,
You have to do a lot of work to come somewhere because competition is going. I mean, saying that, I feel in the next 5 6 years, maybe the women's team could go to the World Cup.
yeah,
We are competing in the Asian Cup right now, and I feel the women's, and we've seen this with America, how
yeah,
the women's soccer team did so well, and then it changed everything.
yeah. It does. Yeah,
Maybe
it,
we learn something from there. Maybe the women show the way.
it's happening more and more. It's certainly. I was having an interview just before this one. We talked a lot about that and the shaping of the women's game and the impact that's having on the men's game, which is great to see. I think we all in football, one of the most overused phrases is the 5-year plan, and everybody tries not to talk about it, or they have one but they don't want to talk about it. Looking ahead a little bit at Intercashai and Indian football as a whole, where would you like to see things go in the next 4 or 5 years? What's the dream headline for you?
So we also have a 5-year vision, and the vision is very clear. We want to win the top tier league in 2030, but we want to win it with a squad of 20%, 30% of kids who are homegrown kids. That's the vision, because we want to build the football culture in our state. So homeborn kids to be part of the squad and win in 5 years is something we would be very happy with.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think winning is one thing. Winning it with, people that have come through the academy just makes it all the more special. Which is why there are so many romantic stories told about players like that in football. Right? If you look at Manchester United, class of '92 is still spoken about now, and it's a long time ago.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. Let's see.
Yeah, that makes sense. And as we talked about in the beginning, affirmation and dreams can come true. You're kind of living proof of that anyway, having lived something of a fairy tale over the last couple of years, which has been really great to see. And I really hope, and we've been speaking away from the camera about the potential of us coming over to India and maybe assisting in some way if we can, which would be really enjoyable. I've never been, so it'd be great to come and see some football out there. I'm always up for experiencing football in a different country.
So I think 26 towards the end of the year, or 27 is a good time. Even right now, as we speak, in the next 6 months, the whole football ecosystem in India is changing. So a lot of things are happening. We hope to have a stable league and a lot of things in place for next season 26-27. So I think we can work around it. Maybe around Christmas or January 27, we can plan something.
Yeah, sounds really good. Um, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you about Intercashai and all things Indian football. I really appreciate your time. It's been an eye opener for me, and I'm interested to watch the journey continue. Hopefully, we'll be celebrating another league title soon enough, pre 2030.
Thank you. It's a pleasure as well.
In the meantime, really appreciate you joining us for the CEO show, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you. Hopefully, we'll meet in person before that.
Sounds good.